After firing close to 7,000 workers, our Internal Revenue Service announced they have plans now to close 110 taxpayer assistance centers right around April 15th. Because everybody knows that's how you balance the budget, by making it impossible for Americans to figure out how to pay their taxes. This is not about making people hate just the IRS. It's about making Americans hate our entire government and creating the false impression that government is inefficient. It's an old trick dating back to the Reagan administration. It's what Republicans always do now. Take a perfectly functioning government agency, destroy it to better convince the American people, see, government doesn't work. The IRS is smaller today than it was 40 years ago. We've got about 30,000 fewer employees over at the IRS than we did 40 years ago, despite our population growing by about 60 million. We have more Americans and fewer IRS employees. Government needs to get bigger, not smaller. This is from the Washington Post. It's an edict handed down by its owner, Amazon's Jeff Bezos. He has told the paper's editorial board to only push opinion pieces that support the free market. He said, we're all about the free market. Well, there's no such thing as a free market, and Jeff Bezos knows that. He just doesn't want you to know that. I just told you our economy is 40% of what the government spends. When you add in regulations that keep our food, drugs, air, water, highways, and investments safe, only a con artist would preach the virtues of a free market. The market is not free. It's what government decides it is. And like I said, you know who knows this? Jeff Bezos. He just doesn't want you to know that. So Jeff Bezos, the homunculus, can continue to manipulate the government for his own benefit. It's why Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post. He bought the Washington Post to influence Washington. Amazon is headquartered in Seattle. He didn't buy the Seattle Times. He bought the Washington Post to influence our federal government. Why? Because Amazon sells billions of dollars worth of cloud services to our federal government, among other things. Plus, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos sells rockets to our government so we can go to the moon. Jeff Bezos would be nothing without government subsidies, government contracts, and an IRS so underfunded it lets him get away with not paying taxes. Amazon was founded in 1994. It wasn't until the end of 2001, 7 years later, that Amazon recorded its first quarterly profit of a few $1 million, and then it went back to losing money. For 3 months in 2001, Amazon turned a profit and then went back to losing money, while destroying Main Street USA. In 2003, Amazon had its first profitable year, and then it went back to losing money, while continuing to decimate Main Street USA. Founded in 1994, not until 2015, 21 years after Amazon was founded, after Main Street USA was completely gutted by Amazon. By 2015, you couldn't find a record or a bookstore. 21 years later, Amazon finally began to consistently earn a profit quarter after quarter, year after year. It took 21 years for Amazon to become a profitable corporation. What was its secret? How did it stay afloat? The government. Jeff Bezos manipulated the government so that he, unlike his competitors, didn't have to pay sales taxes. Well, actually, his customers didn't have to pay sales taxes because our government decided we need to help this new industry that's destroying small-town America. Jeff Bezos was able to undercut every bookstore, every record store, practically every mom-and-pop clothing store on Main Street, USA, because the government, by law, made it so American consumers could shop on Amazon without having to pay a sales tax, unlike shopping on Main Street, where you do have to pay a sales tax. So he decimated Main Street. And the only reason he was allowed to do this was because of our government. The government said, your customers, unlike every other customer in America, doesn't have to pay sales tax. That's how Jeff Bezos was able to keep prices so low. And the government intervened. They get tax breaks. When they want to open up a warehouse, they get paid by cities to open up warehouses that pay substandard wages. We're going to give Jeff Bezos and Amazon tax breaks, incentives to bring low-paying jobs to our city because that's all that's left. He destroyed Main Street, USA. The government does that for him. The last thing someone like Jeff Bezos wants is government getting out of the way, right? The new policy at the Washington Post is push the idea of the free markets, government getting out of the way. But the last thing Jeff Bezos ever wants is the government to get out of the way. Oh, believe me, he wants government in the way as blocking tackles to make sure people like Bezos win and Main Street USA doesn't, to make sure he wins and everybody else loses, including his employees. Thanks to our government, he gets to treat his workers like crap. The drivers are peeing in Gatorade bottles. Why? Because he and the Republicans have succeeded in defoliating the National Labor Relations Board. That means Amazon can violate nearly 70 years of labor law and prevent workers from organizing even though they voted to join a union. Who do you think makes that possible? The government, by not enforcing 70 years of labor law.